once High Captain of the Ben-Elim, recently released from his captivity within Starstone Metal, where he was sealed for over 100 years with Asroth in Drasil. Kadashim and their servants. Aenor, Lord of the Acolytes. Arn, Acolyte of Gullah, from Frith's crew, father of Elise. Asroth, Lord of the Kadashim, recently released from his captivity within Starstone Metal in the Great Hall of Drasil. Boone, a captain of the Kadashim, close to Asroth. Koron, one of Asroth's elite guards. Elise, Acolyte of Gullah, daughter of Arn, healed by Fritha into a creature, half woman, half worm. Fritha, priestess and captain of the Kadashim's covens. Gullah, High Captain of the Kadashim. Morn, a half-breed Kadashim, daughter of Gullah. Rock, Lord of the Shekam giant clan, allied to the Kadashim. Sulak, Kadashim captain, leader of the southern covens. Roth, Frith's Drake. Better to fight and fall than to live without hope. The Volsunga Saga. A Time of Courage. Chapter 1. Drem. The year 138 of the Age of Law, Hound's Moon. Drem threw his grapple hook high. He felt it reach the apex of its climb and then drop. There was a thunk as it connected with wood. He pulled, felt it catch in timber, gave a tug to check it had caught properly and would hold his weight. Drem was huddled tight to the wooden wall of a stockade. The only sound he could hear was his heart pounding, echoing in his skull, and the rasp of his breath. Just being back here, where it had all started, it set him on edge. The mine at the edge of the Starstone Lake. Upon Burns' orders, he and a few score huntsmen of the Order of the Bright Star had crept out of the northern woods in the full dark and made their way to the walls. Drem had noted that the hole Hammer had made in the stockade wall had been repaired. Emotion had swept through him as he looked at the spot where he had last seen Sig alive, where the giantess had made her last stand. The mixture of grief and anger set his blood thrumming in his veins, even as he'd crept through the heather and rocks. It had not left him yet. And now he was here, pressed tight against the wall, waiting to go over, just as he had twice before. This time, though, I'm going over with 60 of the toughest, hardest men and women I've ever encountered. Hunters of the Order of the Bright Star. There was a reassurance in that. His hand went to the hilt of his seax and brushed it lightly. There was a reassurance in that, too. He rolled his shoulders, shifting the weight of his mail coat, wincing as it rubbed on raw skin, even with 2 layers of linen and wool between the mail and his flesh. He'd lived and breathed in it for more than a 10-night, slept in it as well, as they'd made a forced march from the battleground in the heart of the desolation to here. He'd learned the value of his mail at that battle, and no matter how uncomfortable it got, he was not taking it off any time soon. The grey dawn was seeping into the land around him. With the dim light, he could just make out the deeper shadows of another man and woman either side of him, 20 or 30 paces away. They had cast their grapple hooks too, and they were all waiting for the signal. An owl hooted. Keld. Drem sucked in a deep breath and climbed, hauling himself up the rope, feet scraping on timber. He was a big man, heavy, but he was strong, stronger than most, and the climb was little effort to him. In a few heartbeats he was at the top. He rolled over, lowering himself to the walkway, crouching low. A nod either side to his companions, and then he twisted off the walkway, hung suspended, then dropped to the ground. A moment's pause, holding his breath to listen, and he was slipping his seax and short axe into his hands.